Welcome to the Brutally Honest Podcast with Harrison Barron. And today I am joined by my very good friend, Tim Rodriguez.
Hello, hello.
What up, everybody? As promised, this is 2 days later from the last one. It's tough, man. Scheduling is not easy. But cheers to being here, brother.
Salud. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So, Tim is a international importer, I guess. Do you guys export at all?
Yeah, import, export. So we're what's called a 4PL logistics and transportation company. So we help companies move freight from one part of the world to the other. Anyone manufacturing anything, that's what we help move.
God damn. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's interesting. We take a lot for granted. You know, you go to the store, you buy something. You go
big time.
Target, Walmart, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't think about how it gets here. That's what we facilitate. So believe how much stuff comes in from China.
Oh, I feel like everything comes from China. It's
everything.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird to it doesn't matter what it is. It's just
nope.
Whatever. Hopefully they're buying shit from us. And he's also a fellow bartender.
Yeah. Been a long time.
What so where did you used to work? What did you used to do? All that good jazz.
So I started.
Microphone closer. You can move it.
Kind of good. I started bartending when I was in the military, actually down south.
Okay. And
then I moved back to New York, and I bartended everywhere from Port Jeff. There was a place there called the James Bay Brewery back in the day.
Yep.
I think it's called the Rose now. It was a restaurant. Started there, and then hopped around all over. Ended up at Goodfellas in Patchogue was where I was bartending for a long time. And now I still do parties on the side. I cater once in a while. You know, you kind of get to that point where
it's in your blood.
You're going to bed and the birds are chirping. You know?
It's definitely a weird thing for anybody who hasn't bartended before. It's once you kind of do it, it's kind of there forever.
Yeah, like
it doesn't matter even if you've been out of it for 6, 7, 10, 20 years. I mean, I've met gentlemen who would kill to jump behind the bar like one more time, like I'm retired now. It's like, I would love to guest bartend just one night. Just let me have all my friends down, just party it up one night, pour them all drinks, and just have a grand old time. And it's
what's stopping them?
Finding the place. Right. You can't have like a 50-year-old dude. Nothing against 50-year-old dudes, but who has been so far out of the game come and guest bartend a busy shift.
Right.
So.
He's making drinks like Cuba Libras and all those old-timers drinks.
Yeah, old-school Manhattans. Oh, my God. I don't know why anybody would ever drink that, but what? Are you a Manhattan guy?
No, but again, as I told you before, man, I'm a bartender. I can't discriminate against alcohol.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Drink whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's disturbing, but it's like,
no, it could be disturbing.
Yeah. I had a buddy of mine once, and sitting there like, I'm not really going to drink. And we're hanging out, just watching football. I'm like, I'm not really feeling it. And he's got a bottle of, what was it? Captain Morgan, a Kraken rum.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, don't be a bitch. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Took the bottle out of his hand, unscrewed the top, and drank like a third of the bottle. And straight through, whatever. And he's like, you sick motherfucker. I'm like, you happy now, asshole? Like, now I drank half your alcohol. And now I have to get drunk. Thank you. Yeah. Not that that's a problem, but wasn't
because you needed the help.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. But now that you antagonize me enough to do it, exactly. I will give in to the pain.
Right, listen, that was one of the things with bartending that I found was you had access to everything as a bartender. So whenever we had a new bartender coming in, my boss would have me train them.
Okay.
And one of the things I would always tell them is, look, let's lay the groundwork here. As a bartender, you become everyone's best friend. So you have access to all sorts of things, after parties, any type of, drugs were like out of control. And I was like, you have to know your limitations, because if you don't, you can go off the whack. I saw so many people lose it.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many people.
You got to stay on that. I mean, it's like walking, not saying anybody should drink and drive, but it's like walking that fine line.
Right.
You got, if you don't party hard enough, they'll either stop trusting you or stop coming back.
Correct.
Or if you party too hard, they don't want to even be affiliated with you.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know who this guy is or who brought him.
Yep. I had a separate bottle of water that was in a bottle of like Absolute.
Yeah.
They would think it was Absolute. I was just drinking straight Absolute. It was water.
Yeah.
Because if I'm doing all of those shots,
you need to.
you'd be a hot mess.
Yeah.
my boss and I would go through half a bottle of Cuervo a night.
Oh, I can only imagine.
With a blink of an
Cuervo. Really?
Dude, Cuervo. All right, so you like tequila? Do you drink tequila?
Oh, I love tequila. I
what
just hate
tequila
Cuervo.
do you like?
I like 1800 Patron.
Right,
okay. What's the other one? El Mayor. What is it? Oh my god, I haven't had it in a while. But
I used
to work at a tequila bar.
Here's the.
So I didn't really have much of an option. And then from there, it just became an addiction.
Right. So Cuervo to me, so there was two things. People would always come after us and ask for a specific type of tequila. And to me, Cuervo is that friend of yours who's, when you're in the gutter, your girlfriend left you, your dog died, he's in the gutter with you. Everything else was that fair weather friend. When you have money, he's around, and when he's not, when you don't have any money, he's gone. That's all those other alcohols.
So funny. That's so funny you related to that.
Oh, all the time.
There's a couple bottles or liquors, I should say, that for a while, I mean a long time, I couldn't drink. Like I made one mistake one night. I went a little too far off the rails, and I had who the hell was it? Captain Morgan. Sailing the seven seas, man. But holy shit.
It's that sweet stuff, man.
He did me dirty. And it wasn't even that. It was that and Coke. And after you drink a bottle of that, you don't feel too great the next day. You don't wake up feeling like a bucket of daisies.
Well, and it's funny, and I'm sure as a bartender you realize this. If you ask people, do you want a shot of tequila? Everyone makes a face. Mm-hmm. Because everyone thinks that you can drink tequila like you drink anything else. Yeah. You can't. You can't drink Cuervo like you drink vodka or like you drink rum. Yep. It's a different type of alcohol. So my saying all the time, and anybody that knows me, if you disrespect Jose, he's going to disrespect you. Oh yeah. And most of these guys were like a hot mess, just laid out by it. Yep. And then they blame the tequila. Oh no, I can't drink that stuff. That stuff kills me. It's horrible stuff. It's not horrible. It's the way you drink it. Yeah. You gotta really be careful. And then there were times that I had friends come in like, oh, let's do a shot. And I was like, all right, what do you want to do a shot of? And they'd just pick the nastiest. The fucking like, oh, let's do well vodka. Like, oh, that just sounds like fucking gravy. Yeah, let's do it. Right.
Exactly what I wanted to drink, just to like piss me off. Like, whatever. You know what? It's funny because all you have to drink it too. And after I've already been boozing for years now, you kind of just don't. Right. You don't bother anymore with like that flavor. And then you really appreciate like your bourbons, your scotches, and shit like that. Yep. But it would be so funny, like just to get under my skin. I'm like, let's do it. Like I'll put it back like it's water at this point. I'm watching all of you guys suffer now. Yep. So it's a weird skill and career path. So how'd you go from you were in the Navy?
Yeah, I was in the Navy.
How'd you go from Navy to bartender to international shipping, if you don't mind me asking?
No, not at all. So I joined the military right out of high school. I was 17 when I signed up. Actually, I had my parents sign me in, which they were not happy about. So I graduated when I was 17.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you for recognizing.
Absolutely.
I left when I was 18. So I graduated 17. I turned 18 in May, and I was out in August. So I shipped out. You know what? You learn a lot about yourself because they throw you into the deep end of the pool immediately. Yeah. So it's sink or swim. Yep. No pun intended, being in the Navy, but it was a great experience. I take nothing back from it. Mm-hmm. Really learned a lot about yourself being out there on your own. You're talking about showing up in boot camp at 4. Let's see, I got there like 10 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. Didn't get to bed till like 4:30. Oh my 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then they wake you up at 5:36. And your first day there,
miserable,
beyond. Miserable. And I'll never forget. You're in a barracks, and it's cold and it's dark, and they have red lights everywhere. You're just out of your element, completely out of your element. Yeah. And I wake up to this just noise. I'm like, what is that noise? I wake up to these bright lights like these, and I look down. It's your worst nightmare. Wake up and you look down, and as far as you can see, they're all beds. They're all empty. Oh, shit. I'm the only one in bed. And I hear this yelling behind me, and I look over my right shoulder, and everyone's standing. You have there was 84 of us in boot camp, in that barracks. Yeah. 84 of them standing at attention, and there's this drill sergeant just screaming at the top of his lungs at everybody how we're all pieces of shit. The whole yards. And I'm like, first day. And I'm like, I am screwed. So I hear like the Mission Impossible soundtrack playing my in my head, and I gotta like run through all this and get up to the line. I'm standing at attention. The guy next to me looked at me. He's like, "You're crazy." And the guy's screaming, and I remember him saying something to the effect of, "You guys have 5 minutes to get in there, shit, shower, and shave, and get back out here, and you just wasted 2." So you have 84 guys running in there to get ready. Yeah. And I'll never forget, I was like 120 pounds soaking wet with a brick in my hand. The guy next to me was this big corn-fed guy from the Midwest. He was like 6'2", like 250 pounds, just a solid muscle. And he's standing, we're like brushing teeth, shaving, like you're trying to do everything at once. Yeah. And he's brushing his teeth. All of a sudden he stops, and he's looking in the mirror. He's got his toothbrush in his mouth, and he's just staring at himself in the mirror. And I'm like, what's he doing? We got like a minute left. This guy, and his eyes roll to the back of his head, and he falls out, and he just starts having seizures.
Oh shit!
And I remember looking down at him, going, "I'm gonna die here. If this guy just fell out, I'm going to die here." That was my first experience with the military, and then from that point on, I realized that a lot of it was mental. It was 90% mental, 10% physical. But they really push you, and they teach you a lot.
Yeah,
I learned a lot. And then from there, I got out of the military. So I saw Desert Storm. I saw Bosnia.
Oh shit!
Came back home. Didn't know what I wanted to do. I mean, I you know what, the crazy thing, if I had to do it all over again, I'd pick a career that I can come out and do something in the civilian world. The job that I picked, I was what's called ASW, which is anti-submarine warfare. So it was all top secret stuff.
Yeah.
So literally, we joked about it. Like, I tell you what I do, but I'd have to kill you, like that kind of thing. But there was not a lot that I could transferable skills out here.
Yeah.
One of the things they told me was, there's no submarines floating around here. I'm like, that's great. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. I came out. I was 23 when I got out.
Uh-huh.
And just, I was already bartending, so I was like, I'll just start bartending again. I was making great money bartending.
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't bartend and you need to put yourself through whatever. I'm not saying quit your day job.
Right.
But unless your day job sucks and you can bartend.
Right.
But it's a fucking way to go.
See, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. I was working ladies' night, Friday night, and then Saturday nights, and just banking money. Yep. So, and most of my friends were working two jobs. Yep. I was working Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I was making a ton of money.
Yep.
So I did that for a while, and then one of my friends got me into a company doing engineering because of the electronic background. I actually got picked up because of my military background. They picked me up.
Okay.
Because they figured he was in the military, he's disciplining us, we can teach him everything else.
Yeah.
So I did that for a few years. It was roadway engineering and then structural engineering. It was AutoCAD, automated drafting. Went from there, 2001, 9/11 hit. All of our contracts done in the city.
Yeah.
They started laying people off. One of my other friends had started a mortgage company, asked me to come down. I started doing that, and I was in the mortgage industry for like 15 years.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then market meltdown, and...
Yeah, you kind of got to adapt to what's going on.
Yeah, you just got to roll with it. You really got to roll. And then this fell into my lap, and I just kind of ran with it. And I got to tell you, love the job, love the people I work with. It's night and day. And it's a very interesting industry.
Oh, I can only imagine. Yeah. What's the craziest thing you guys have imported and exported?
Nothing crazy right now. Nothing that I've seen. Everything, like we work with, we're predominantly big in the cosmetic, the health and beauty industry, packaging, promotional items, like any of these things.
Cruises and shit.
But we get people that are moving vehicles, we've got a customer now that wants us to move like steel rolls, like big rolls of steel. Shit. And it's going all over the world. So you're talking 35,000 containers that are moving per year.
Oh my God.
It's actually, I take that back. It's 350,000 containers that they're moving per year.
Holy shit.
So we started working with them recently. I'm like, that's to me mind-boggling. But again, it puts things into perspective of how things get around the world. The things that we take for granted. Like, we have no idea how this stuff gets here. A lot of it is via containers, man, and it's all shipped all over the world.
That's fucking nuts.
And that's where I am now.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So from Navy, right out of high school, to shipping things around the world.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy. And living it up in the middle.
Doing whatever you can. I actually just... Lee reached out to me. She knows someone who's owns their own catering thing on the side, and she does bartenders and that kind of thing. So she's like, this lady says she's got some gigs if you want to. I'm like, sure, why not?
Yeah,
just keep
why
bartending.
Just it's fun. Like at this
I
point,
don't see it as work.
Yeah. It's I mean at this point, one of the old restaurants I used to work for just asked me to come back, and I'm like, yeah, like, why not? I mean, I won't be bartending. I'll be waiting tables, but I'm like. It's like at this point, like the restaurant industry is so weird, and I don't want to say it sucks you in because you've worked in it, but for anybody who hasn't, I know a lot of people that haven't. It's like a weird like you forge some of the best friends.
Yep.
You have some of the most ridiculous stories of whatever the fuck you may have done, and it's like the only thing in the world where you get to get paid to hang out with your friends, drink booze all night. And it's like okay, like you can't go to your day job and booze all day, but you can go bartend and booze with all your friends, make a ton of money, and nobody says anything because it's just allowed.
Yep.
It's a fucking weird industry, and it doesn't matter how far you get away from it. Like I'm like, it's extra cash. What's the worst that happens? Okay, I'll start buying more toys, whatever it is.
Exactly.
And it's a weird lifestyle.
Listen, I remember looking at it and saying, you're going to pay me to listen to music, drink booze, and talk to my friends and hang out? Oh. Why not?
It's a... Not only is it a crazy thing, but it's like a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. And like you said, you have access to all these people. There you go. I don't know if you're ready for it just yet.
Almost.
But it's when I say it's a lifestyle and you have access to all these people. There's been times where you're leaving work 2-3 in the morning and people are like, "Oh, dude, come over to Fire Island on the boat," and you're like, "All right, why not?" Like, it's only 2 o'clock in the 2-3 in the morning. Well, why not? Like, you're all banged up, whatever it is, or whatever. Oh, come to this party, and you go to this party, and all of a sudden you meet these people, and then they start coming into your bar, and you kind of grow your bar network.
Yep.
And then you get to a point where, because I still have it now, actually, there's been a couple of people I've bumped into recently, and they're like, "Oh, you used to bartend at 5 Points." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh my God, it's been years since I've been in that location, and they still remember me." And it leaves like a lasting impression. And the best part is you're everybody's best friend. Yep. Like even it doesn't matter how many years go by. Oh, how's everything going? What are you doing with yourself now? It's not like an awkward encounter where you go, "Oh, I did business with this guy. I don't do business with him anymore." Right. Whatever it is, it's always like smiles and hugs and how's everything going? Let's get a drink. I mean, it's a fucking weird lifestyle.
You were a therapist. You were essentially a therapist.
An unpaid therapist.
Unpaid therapist. Right?
I mean, they kind of pay you.
Not
unlicensed.
Right. I feel well, they wouldn't pay you either. I mean, they pay you on tips, but you weren't getting paid that way.
No.
These guys. So you'd see, and you'd meet some of the biggest degenerates out there too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got to take the bad with the good. Sure, but it's a fucking weird lifestyle.
As I joke about it now. I was telling Lee, Sundays we would get up. I would work Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sundays we'd get up. We'd be out in Neptune's at 9:30 in the morning.
Oh, my God.
We'd be there till 12. We'd go to the barn. We'd close the barn, and then we'd go to the goggle, and we'd be in the goggle and close the goggle down.
Holy shit.
That was Sundays for us. And then we'd all truck home.
How the fuck do you go to work Monday? Oh, my God.
We were a hot mess. But we could do it. If I did that now, you'd visit me in Stony Brook.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be in a coma.
I had a pretty rough last Saturday. And I know I'll tell everybody this. But it was Blue Point's Cask Fest, and I can't remember if I said this when Donnie was here, but it was Blue Point's Cask Fest, and 60 brewers come, and I'm with my buddy Bobby and our friend Teresa, and we go there. I'm like, all right, I'm probably going to know a bunch of people. I live in the town next door. Surprisingly enough, I didn't know that many people there. I knew a bunch, but I didn't know as many as I thought I would. And so we're going. They give you the 2 4-ounce cups. They fill them up, whatever, glasses. You're slugging them back. You're like, all right, let me take a taste. All right, it's good. All right, let me knock it back. If it's okay, you take a couple sips. And then, so we leave there, and we leave there, and I'm fucking all sorts of banged up. And we hop in the car, and we start going to Jake's 58. Like, all right, good. And anybody who doesn't know what Jake's 58 is, it's a casino on the LIE. And all of a sudden, I don't know why I thought this would be a good idea to say, but I'm like, why don't we go to Atlantic City?
Road trip.
Oh. And I'm like, let's fucking go. I'm getting everybody fucking amped up at this point. I'm sitting in the back of the car, shaking the car. I'm like, let's go down to AC. We're going to have a great old time. And they look up, like, we don't have the Easy Pass with us. I'm like, son of a bitch. And I'm so glad they didn't have the Easy Pass with us, because that saved me a whole next day of, oh my God, what did I get myself into? And so we leave there. We go to the local bar in town, whatever. I get dropped off at home. I take my bicycle out to the local bar in town. Go there. Another bartending friend working. I'm like, oh, this is bad news. We go there, partying all night, whatever, buying drinks for people left and right. And then I'm like, all right, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you call it a night. So I don't remember what time we even left. And on the way home, there's a psychic. I'm like, I've never been to a psychic. That's when you know. That's when you know. And I'm like, all right, let's go to the psychic tonight.
She's like, I foresee a hangover in the future.
It was actually a really positive reading. And I was super happy about it. I do remember it.
Oh, I was gonna say, you remember?
Oh yeah. Oh, I felt so bad for this lady. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I was annihilated. And she gives this reading, and I've never seen these tarot card things. And now I'm like investigating. I'm like doing like I don't want to say a podcast interview, but I'm like, how do I know this isn't bullshit?
Right.
Like, all right, you got whatever, let's just say 52 cards in a tarot card set. And you've dropped all these out, and I'm reading all of them as they're coming out, trying to read them at least. And a lot of them are like positive. So I'm like, how does anybody get a negative reading? Right. Now I'm like interrogating her, like questioning her.
You're like, speaking to the mic.
And she's like, no. She goes, there's certain cards that the way they lay out, it gives like different fortunes and stuff like that, and there's times where the less positive cards will come up as opposed to more positive cards. I'm like, oh, I was like, all right, not sure if I buy it 100%, but it was pretty interesting. Right. And then I took my bike home at whatever hour of the night and paid for it royally the next day.
Sure you did.
Oh,
where'd you park the bike?
I got it in the garage. Yeah. Well, when I went in there, I'm like, "Fuck, this is a really expensive bike. Like, this is a road bike. Like, I take this. Well, I'll take it for a couple dozen miles." And I'm like, I don't want anybody to steal this thing. So I'm like bringing it into the bar. I'm bringing it into, and I don't care at this point. All my thoughts are out the window. I bring it into the psychic place. So that was a rough one. But bartending friends, man, as much as you love them, they will fucking get you.
They will. Oh. They're paying you back as well.
Oh, absolutely. Because I've had to call multiple Ubers for these people.
They know you by you already have them on speed dial.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like it's Harrison calling again. It's Saturday night. And it's about that time.
Bad, but I'm trying to be better. You got to be this professional person.
Right.
It's fucking adulting sucks.
It does suck. It
really does.
Right. This is the guy who's fixing your computers, by the way, folks.
Yes, and selling your computer systems.
Right. Exactly.
You're all welcome. You got to go out and get a little wild. You know what though? I feel so bad for the people, and we were just talking about this before. It's so bad for the people that they go to work miserable all day. They're not doing anything that they want to do with their life. Oh, what's a good day? Oh, my wife lets me out of the house for 3 hours or 5 hours to play golf on Sunday. I'm like, that's
Time
it?
served.
Yeah, I'm like, Jesus, like that's what your life has come to. I'm like, I hope to God that doesn't happen to me, and I'm not terribly worried, but I just.
Well, you see those people all the time driving on the LIE or the Southern State. Actually, I don't like to say the Southern State Parkway. I cannot stand the Southern State Parkway. It drives me crazy. Yeah, it drives me crazy.
It's the only area that traffic actually flows.
Southern State?
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Really?
Not a chance. Flows. Well, what time of the day are you flowing on the Southern State Parkway? Because anyone listening to this is probably pulling their hair out. Southern State.
I don't know. I usually want to blow my brains out when I'm on Sunrise of the LIE. I feel like as soon as I get on
LIE is just as bad. Southern State is I cannot stand.
Really?
I go to Valley Stream.
Oh, well, that's why.
But I take Ocean Parkway the whole way. That's what saves me.
Yeah.
But I was on Southern State today because I had to go see a client, and coming back 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Southern State Parkway, bumper to bumper, bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Long Island's getting too crowded.
it's way too crowded.
Too crowded. It's nuts.
But it's, you know what gets me is, and the one thing that I can't figure out, I thought about this one time driving. One of the, especially if you live on the island, one of the things you do the most of is drive.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So if you do something so much over and over again, don't you get better at it?
No.
No, not driving.
No, not at all.
Not driving on Long Island. These people.
No. I've actually, as I get older, I've come to the realization, especially with the combination of cell phones in people's hands, that the I don't know if aptitude is the right word, but the aptitude of driving abilities has gone down the drain so deep. Yeah. Like I was in a deli parking lot today. I'm like, I'm pretty hungry. I didn't bring lunch today. Let me stop at the deli. And I pull in the deli parking lot, and I get back in the car, and I'm trying to back up. Actually, no, I was trying to pull out forward, and this dude pulls out of a spot, sits there, and is texting like in the middle of the parking lot. And I'm like, dickbag. Not that I have anywhere to go that fast. I'm still on my lunch break, but I'm like, bro,
common sense. Yeah, not that common, is it?
Well, yeah, oh my God. I don't know who the fuck thought it was a good idea to call it common sense. It should be called uncommon sense. Far and few between.
But this commercial is brought to you by Tesla, where these cars are now driving themselves. Perfect timing.
Tesla, if you hear the sponsor, please.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's
bad.
And whatever, I'm super guilty of it. Is maybe like you look down at a text message or whatever. But I try to use Siri all the time.
Yes,
like Siri is. I live on Siri, but it's getting to the point now where I'm watching people and their eyes don't even lift. Like I'll go a quarter mile with them because you're only going.
Yep.
You're going at less than a mile an hour.
Correct.
And I'm looking at these people and their eyes aren't even lifting. Nope. I'm like,
get on a motorcycle. Get on a motorcycle. You get to see up close and personal what people do in their cars. Scary. I drive my bike east of here. I never go west because it's more crowded.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised. I've seen people reading books, shaving, putting on eyeliner, shaving. I've seen women shaving their legs. I've seen people reading books. You're reading a book. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, what are you doing?
I saw a guy reading a paper the other day. I'm like, it's not a cell phone.
But
still, you should be paying attention.
No, they're not. People don't pay attention anymore, and it's so scary. It's so scary what people do.
I wanted to get a motorcycle, and I'm like, I'm going to get my license, but I don't know if I could justify getting one on Long Island unless it's like midday when it's not that bad.
Drive it east. Go east. Don't go west. You go west, it's more people. I literally go out to where the farms are.
Yeah.
Drive around out there. I've had Lee on the bike a couple of times.
Yeah.
You can ask her about it. She had a great time, but she's like, nope.
What kind of bike do you have?
It's a Rice Rocket.
Okay.
Cowie 600. I took the 1,000.
I never pictured you for a racer.
Yeah, you know what? I got it. I've had it for years. I just never got rid of it. But when I bought it, it's not like a Gixxer where you're completely hunched over. Like I can sit up on it.
Yeah.
The one thing that I do like about a bike is you flick your wrist and you're out of a situation. Like you're
real
literally,
quick.
There's never any traffic. I don't ride in between.
Yeah.
But
that should be legal, by the way.
It is illegal.
No, it should be legal.
Oh, it should be legal?
Oh,
what,
absolutely.
Riding in between?
Oh, yeah.
Not a chance in hell.
In most states it is. But here's the thing, though. In those states, it's known. So, like, if a car sees bikers coming down the middle, they actually move apart.
Right.
As opposed to here where they'll probably open up a door to fucking kill you. It's terrible.
But they'll do it unintentionally because they're texting, they're reading papers, they're reading books.
I saw somebody almost crash on the divider the other day. She saved herself at the last foot. And she just slams the car back over. I'm like, this lady... Yeah. I'm watching her. I'm like literally ready to pull over. I'm like, somebody's got to fucking help this lady. I'm following behind her, whatever, 50, 100 feet. And I'm like, all right, I'm like, I don't have enough time to get out Snapchat to make a viral video. and at the last minute, she slams the wheel over and just misses it by a foot at least, or at most. And I was like, holy shit. And I'm looking, and then she goes right back to the texting.
Yeah. Did you give her the thumbs up?
I don't know. I feel like the most degrading thing I can do is shake my head and look at these
That's
people.
what I do. I just shake my head.
I'm like, this is crazy.
I'm like, you're amazing.
Fuck.
Good job.
Oh my God. It blows my mind.
Every day. Well, that's what I mean. If you do something and like I know that if I learn, like I started to do my own oil changes on the bike.
Okay.
I got really good at it.
Yeah.
Because I did it over and over again.
Yeah.
But we drive over and over again. I'm a good driver. Lee might argue that, but I'm a good driver. But some of these people amaze me at what they do. Like, they just, no signals. They don't even look when they're merging.
Oh my God.
I just see mind-boggling things.
Yep.
All the time.
And I get it that there's people are going to make mistakes, but people just, it's one thing to make a mistake. It's another thing to know that you are intentionally doing something wrong.
They don't care.
It's fucked
They don't
up,
care.
man.
They don't care.
It's crazy.
They don't care.
Now that I would love to have like a nice Fat Boy Harley.
So that's where I wanted to go.
Or a roadster.
I actually wanted to get like a road bike more than anything else. Then like the Rocket's fine, but I took it. We had a crew of us at one point. We all had bikes, and we took it out to Montauk. We took it across to Greenport and came back around.
Yeah,
my bike's just not comfortable for those long rides.
Yeah,
it's just not.
Yeah.
You need. My buddy's got one. He's got a Harley. And he calls it the couch. And he's like, I'm just riding the couch. And it is. He's like just laid back. And he's just putzing down the road. Yep. And you'll see him on that thing all the time. He takes it into the city.
The only time I would ever go to the city is if I'm cutting through to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And even then, I would try to take like a ferry out to at a Port Jeff, put the bike on there, and just to avoid the city. Or
leave like early or late.
Yeah.
Where you're not in between everything else. Because it's chaos.
Even late now, I'm realizing is a disaster. Like, you have like a couple hour window from like 2 to like 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's the only time that you can get right through.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's a nightmare.
Yep, I agree with that.
Crazy. But yeah, I would love to take go down, maybe like I have a buddy in North Carolina, just take a bike down there. 11 hours, just get on it all day long.
That's what they do. This is like the place down there called the Dragon's Tail or something.
Yeah. I've heard about that.
I've had friends that go down there and they're like, it's amazing. I mean, the scenery is beautiful, but some of those turns are wicked.
Yo, yeah, you can't take. I mean, if you're on a rice rocket, you can go pretty low. But if you're going on a Harley, you can't take them fast. You gotta really slow down.
Yeah. There's some places out east where these guys would go back by where Grumman used to be.
Yeah, yep.
Back in between there's some really wicked turns and stuff.
Really?
I've been out there. We used to go out there early morning on Sundays. We'd grab breakfast, and there was like 10 of us. And we'd go down these roads. And, I mean, some of these guys were, they had the Ducatis, and they were like just eating it up. The Hayabusas, which are the 1300s. Yep. Fast bikes, man. And these guys are just laying these things down side to side. I'm like, I'm good.
Crazy.
Picking the wheel up. Like, that's one thing I never got into is just doing wheels. I'm already on 2 tires. Why do I want to go down to 1? I'm fine. There's no such thing as a fender bender on a bike.
No. It's all or nothing.
We knew somebody, this was years ago, who raising the front tire, lost it on Sunrise Highway. He was wearing shorts and a tank top.
Oh.
He ended up in the Stony Brook burn unit.
Yep.
He left like part of his body on on Sunrise Highway, just skin, like
messed up.
Road rash.
Messed up. Yeah, that's definitely my biggest fear is and everybody says it. It's not you. It's going to be them.
Yeah, it's not. It's right. Well, in this case, it was him, but he laid it. He overcompensated, pulled it back too much, and just ended up laying it down. But it doesn't. It's not always the guy that's riding the bike. It's somebody who pulls out. I had people pull out on me. I'm coming down the road, and they pull out of a parking lot. And it's brakes aren't going to save you on a bike. You forget about brakes. You better learn how to maneuver the bike.
Yeah, because.
And people are like deer in headlights. All of a sudden, they just whip out and they stop. If they would have kept going, I had an old man do that on 111. I'm coming down 111. He's sitting, waiting. And as I come up, all of a sudden, he just whips out and he stops. And I'm like, this is not going to... And the only thing that saved me is that there was no oncoming traffic, and I was able to whip the bike to the left and then back to the right. I was able to go around them, but brakes weren't... I was going to go over. I was literally going to hit the front of this thing and just go right over. But people are distracted. They aren't paying attention. They don't see you.
Yep.
So
that's crazy. That's scary shit.
It is. It's very scary. You got to know what you're getting involved in if you're going to go, ride a bike.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
So I mean, they're a lot of fun. There's nothing like it. Get on a bike, man. They call, and I don't know if you know this, but for the uninitiated out there, the bikers call people that ride cars, cagers.
Oh yeah.
Right. So so there's a lot of cagers out there, but when you're on a bike, it's free. Like you're free. It's an amazing feeling.
That's crazy. Yeah. Fuck, now I really want one. God damn it. Timmy,
sorry.
Now I'm trying to go buy a car this weekend. Now I'm gonna end up with a fucking motorcycle. But yeah, it's definitely scary, man. Even driving a car, even with the cage around you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been plenty of times where it's like I'm driving and I'm like, even this morning, just on my way to work, the day I take every which way, I know every turn, whatever it is, I know where all the potholes are, where the large rocks, whatever it is. This fucking lady cuts across 3 lanes to get off at an exit. I'm like, you almost hit me and 2 other cars, and you cut somebody off. I'm like, what in the fuck is wrong? Just go to the fucking red light and go over the bridge to the next one.
They're afraid they won't know how to get back.
Oh my!
Because it's going to take you over the end of the earth, and you're going to fall off.
Oh, because we have a flat Earth.
Exactly right.
Yeah, flat Earth.
Don't get people started, man.
Oh, get them all fucking riled up. The world is not flat. We have videos. This crazy thing called fucking technology.
Yeah. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
No. It ends. You will fall into
the abyss.
Yeah. The one thing I was always curious of though was like the flat Earth people. We're now going fucking wild.
You ready? You want to pull the plug on this?
Oh yeah. We're gonna go off the rails now.
Let's go.
And it's like nobody knows anybody that just went off the flat Earth. That's the one thing I can't like. I'm like, all right, look, you want to deny science and the satellites and whatever it is, but somebody would have had to fallen off that or of somebody who knows the person.
Somebody out there screaming right now. What about all those people that are missing? That nobody's ever found them. They disappeared.
Maybe they fell. Maybe they fell.
Right.
Where do you go? I want to know. Like I want to. Maybe that would be a good podcast. I want to have a flat Earth theorist on here and just be like,
you have to pad these walls more though.
Oh yeah. They're gonna stalk the shit. I'd be afraid because they'd like kick. Now that they know where it is, they'd kick down the walls. Or whatever.
Exactly.
Oh, wait till Harrison leaves. Let's stab him to death. He's preaching the wrong thing. I'd be afraid.
You don't know. You don't know what these people are thinking.
Oh, it's crazy.
You know what? You hear all these theories, and I listen to it, and you have to laugh.
Oh yeah,
you have to laugh. But wasn't there was a recent basketball player from Duke who came out from Duke. Came out and said that the
flat Earth
theory, and I was like,
who the fuck was it?
Yeah,
I know exactly. I know who you're talking about.
I was like, he's from Duke.
One of the top colleges in the world.
Come on, man. What are you doing? But I don't know. I don't know what makes these people think this.
Oh, I have no idea.
All right. So you hear people talking about Bigfoot. You hear them talking about aliens. You hear them talking about the Loch Ness Monster. And
Kyrie Irving. That's who it is.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, he's catching some heat.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Catching some heat.
Kyrie Irving. Let's see a picture of you.
Flat Earth.
It's fucking Jesus. I don't know. We have this thing called Google. You can pretty much figure out everything.
Yeah, but everyone, all they're saying is that it's all been hacked. It was all, the moon landing was staged, and so why aren't these photos staged? This could be Photoshop, So you're getting arguments from that side. This is what they're using as arguments.
Have you ever flown in a plane?
Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe they haven't. Who knows?
I find it very hard to believe that this person of all people has not flown a plane going somewhere for basketball.
Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe he didn't sit in the window seat.
Yeah, maybe not.
Right.
Just denying all factual information.
I'm not looking out the window.
Oh God,
can I do it?
It's crazy. What's another crazy conspiracy you've heard?
Conspiracies. They're all over the place.
I would say it's a conspiracy theory, right?
The flat Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, what else? What else are they hiding out there from us?
Oh, I can only imagine. It's the Illuminati. The Illuminati. Can't say it too loud. They'll hear you.
You have this door locked?
Oh, of course. Of course. Actually, I have motion scanners. It'll tell me immediately when somebody walks in.
Really? Is that how the ghost gets in?
Yep. Oh, so it's haunted, bro. I heard, and Lee told the ghost story.
She did.
Yes,
she did.
What's your take on the ghost story? And for anybody who hasn't listened or doesn't know the ghost story, go to the Lee Shuckman podcast. I think episode 12. It's a creepy story.
You know what? If that were the only thing, if it was a creepy story and that was the end of it, I'd leave it at that. But the truth is that we were joking about it. We were up in Nowhereville, Rochester. There's nothing. She was up there for training.
Yeah.
There was nothing to do. I'm looking for something, and they said, suddenly there's this is called the Valentine Museum. You can look it up online. It's an old museum. It was built back in the 1800s. It's 3 floors plus a basement. It was like one of the
creepy.
Yeah, exactly.
Looks fucking creepy.
Oh, it is. Trust me. It's just as creepy as you see it. Is exactly that. And they do tours through this thing. So I was like, hey, let's go check this place out. And it was the middle of the day, so we go there, and as we're walking up to it, these little kids come all out. They were having a kid's birthday party inside. Yeah. So they come walking out, and we walk in, and immediately, as soon as you open the place up, you're like, geez, like this place is just creepy. They have like, the first floor was like, it was just all museum. Second floor was like, it was like the first mall. So they had like hat makers, boot makers.
Yeah. It's a pretty big building.
It's a huge building.
Yeah.
And downstairs in the basement is where all the horses used to come in. The carriages you come in, they would load them up and then take them out.
Uh-huh.
This crazy. So we get to the first floor. We're walking around, and Lee, who's very nervous as it is, she's going to murder me that I'm saying this. She's like, "Are we supposed to be in here? There's nobody here." And we start hearing somebody walking above us, and she's like, "Oh, they're upstairs. They'll be down in a second."
Yeah.
So we're like, "All right." So we're walking through. We find the staircase to the second floor, staircase to the third floor. We get all the way upstairs, and Lee goes, "Where's the person?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I start joking. I'm like, ooh. So I'm like, ghost hunt, let's go. And she's like, stop playing around. And I'm like videotaping. I'm like, is there somebody here? You know, like playing around. We go all the way back downstairs, and we get to the front of the door. We're about to walk out. And there's a sign, there's like a piece of paper on a podium right by the door that says ghost hunts. Mm-hmm. And I was like, bucket list. I was like, this wasn't even on my bucket list.
I would love to go on.
Right?
Yeah, I would love to do.
So the door opens up. Old lady walks in, who's the caretaker for the museum. And I'm like, ghost hunts? And she's like, yeah. She's like, we have a professional crew coming up from Staten Island to do one tonight. You guys want to be part of it? Before that, Lee goes, is there anybody in here? And she's like, no, why? She's like, we heard somebody walking around upstairs. She's like, yeah, we get that a lot. That's what the lady told us.
Yeah.
And I was like, we are doing this. So we go to dinner. The lady's like, call me if you want to do it. So we come back. Now, there's 2 separate buildings. There's the main house, which you see, and then next door was a smaller house that was built back and around that same time frame. And she's like, just meet me here. We walk in, and the lady says, she's there with a paramedic. Who's also a hunter, a ghost hunter. So we walk in, and Lee goes, is this real, or is this, she said, is this for, for entertainment purposes only? And the lady said, yeah. And she's like, oh, so it's not real. And both of them go, oh, it's real.
Oh, shit.
So Lee goes, fuck. So we sit down, and, for anyone that wants to hear the rest of the story, go to the other podcast. But fast forward, they gave us these little meters that light up when something is in them. It's a K2 meter is what it's called. Yep. And because ghosts, quote unquote, use electricity or are electricity, for any ghost hunters out there, I don't want to mess anything up. They come through electrically. So the K2 meters is a meter that electricians use to find wires in the wall. So I get a meter, Lee gets a meter, the lady gets a meter, and we put it on the table, and the lady starts to call this ghost. Uh-huh. It's a little girl. I don't remember her name. So she starts calling, and suddenly the meters go off at the same time. And I was like, the hell? So in the beginning, before that, she tells us what to expect. So you might feel somebody tugging on your clothes. They might play with your hair. You might feel them like tugging on your pant leg or something like that. And Lee goes, fuck that. She's like, I don't want them to touch me. And the lady's like, you have to tell them, don't touch me. You don't want, you tell them. Yeah. And Lee's like, don't touch me. Don't play with my hair. I don't want to be touched. And then the lady looks at me, and I'm like, I'm riding this ride. I'm taking this all the way.
I'm going deep with
Yeah,
this.
let's go, man. If I came all the way up here, I want to see this thing.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there. She starts calling this thing, and the meter goes off.
Uh-huh.
And I'm telling you, as I'm sitting here, I feel something touch my hair. I feel like somebody like petted me. But I was like, power suggestion. The lady just freaking said it.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling so I'm just like, okay, I didn't say a word. So she asks a couple of questions. Then as quick as it starts, it ends.
Uh-huh.
So then that's in the kitchen. We move to the back room, which is a far back dining room. And it's got a long dining room table. The only light coming in that room is from the kitchen where we just came from. So it was a kitchen. It was like a sitting room and then the dining room. So it's 3 rooms. So we got the light coming in from there. And then there's an exit sign, the red exit signs.
Yeah.
We have that light. So I'm sitting at one end of the table. The lady's at the other end of the table and Lee's to the right of me at the end of this table. And I have my phone and I'm just videotaping the K2 meters.
Uh-huh.
So the lady and Lee are talking back and forth. So they're asking questions. And the lady goes, Lee, do you want to ask any questions? I'm just videotaping the meters. So Lee starts asking questions. And Lee, she's a smartass. So Lee goes, what? To me. She's like, you don't have any questions? So I go, are you standing behind Lee? And she goes, I will fucking kill you.
That's so funny.
So we're going back and forth, and at one point, and I have the video. I'll show you the video. I'm videotaping, and the lady's asking questions, and it's 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. So 1 means the lights go all the way across. That's 1. 2, they go twice, and 3, 3 lights across. So she's asking questions. Are you here? Are you here with your family? Blah, blah, blah. So she's asking all these questions, and the meter starts to go off. And I'm videotaping this as she's asking this. And all of a sudden, it feels like it gets darker, which is hard to explain because we're in a dark room.
Yeah.
But suddenly, and you hear me say, wow, it just got darker in here. And the lady goes, it did get darker. But that was the end of, I felt something touch me again. So the lady goes, so I just say in the middle of the thing, I go, did you just touch my hair? And the meter goes, yes. And the lady goes, wow, she answered you. And I said, did you touch my hair in the kitchen? And it says, yes, again. And the lady's like, they touched you in the kitchen? I was like, yeah, but I didn't want to say anything. So twice it said yes. So we're like, everybody's bugging out. Everybody's like, we start laughing that she's answering it. The meter goes crazy. The lady's like, no, we're not laughing at you. It's blah, blah. Fine. We were in the little house. The guys that were hunting were in the main house. So we go back. So they come out. This was like, I don't know, February. It's freezing up in Rochester. Mm-hmm. That house has no heat. So those guys come out of their ghost hunt. They have all their cameras and stuff set up. They come back to this house to heat up. We go now to that room, to that house. And we start in the basement. And I've got some sick photos I'll show you. So she gives me, do you know what a parabolic mic is? Have you ever heard of that?
I have.
So it looks like a pistol with a dome on it.
Uh-huh.
So it looks like a little gun with a half dome on it. Uh-huh. And you have headphones on.
Okay.
But what it does is it picks up.
Oh, it's like what they use for sports things.
Yeah. But it was a smaller one like that.
Yeah.
But you could hear an ant pissing on cotton with this thing. Like it is ridiculous.
I have never heard that expression in my life.
It's ridiculous what you can hear with this thing.
Yeah.
So she's like, I was like, yeah, give me that. So I put it on. Now this old creaky ass house, you can hear somebody come in on the opposite side of this building. You see the size of that building.
Yeah.
It's old. It's wooden. Like it's just crazy. So we walk in. We're walking around down the basement, and it's pitch black.
And it's just the 3 of you?
It's just the 3 of us
in
this thing. Yeah. Lee's got her hair tucked into her jacket, like she's not fucking around. I'm in the back. The lady's in the front. Lee's in the middle, and we're just walking down. And this place is pitch black. So we're just like walking through, and I am just hearing all sorts of shit. So we get to one point, and I'm just like, and Lee turns around. She looks at me. She's like, your face is freaking me out. Because I'm hearing footsteps, like old shoes on a wooden floor. That's exactly. So I'm like, I hear footsteps, and they're like, I don't hear anything. All of a sudden, you hear them right above us, like walking across. Dude, I'm getting goosebumps. just walking across the whole thing. It was crazy. So now I'm like full on ghost hunt now. I've got my phone on. I'm taking pictures. I'm snapping shots.
Yeah, because you got to take a photo to get their...
yeah. So I'm like taking pictures of... And I've got pictures at one point because I'm the last one in line. So I'm just turning around. I'm taking pictures. I'm looking. I take a picture again. So I take one picture. There's nothing on there. I look at it. I turn back. I take another picture. There's a full body apparatus. There's a full body. There's somebody standing behind me. And I'm like... Fuck my life. Like, this is what's going on right here.
Yeah.
We go up through the whole building. We get all the way to the top, and we're just, like, listening to everything. The place is just creepy as hell. Fast forward. So that was the end of it. We leave. So before we leave, the lady's like, you got to tell everything here to stay here.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I didn't know this. I didn't know there were rules, but apparently
I didn't know there was rules.
So Lee's like, you have to stay here. You know, you can't come with us. Blah, blah. I'm like, no, you stay your ass here. Don't come. I don't want you to come home with me. So we do that. Fast forward, we come home, and we're telling her parents about the ghost story and everything. Everybody's laughing. And so we get home, and Lee's like, I wish we had better video. I'm like, what are you talking about? We have great video. And she's like, no, it's just, I'm like, look. And we're like laying there. It's already dark. We're sitting in a room, and we're just playing the video back. And you see the lights, and you hear me say, wow, it just got dark in here. And the lady goes, yeah, it just got dark. And all of a sudden, like, it got really dark. And you hear, I'm here. And we lose it. Lee goes, and I was like, wait, what? And we, like, back it up and played it again. And it's clear as day, man. This little girl says, and we were like, oh. We did not hear that when we were there.
Yeah.
And I go, you know where the proof is? Because you would have heard us crashing to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
If we would have heard that.
Oh, yeah.
I would have. Out the window.
Oh, yeah. Fuck that. Get me out of this building immediately.
And I still have that video to this. I sent it to the lady, and she's like, wow, they don't do ghost hunts anymore.
Oh,
they don't do ghost hunts anymore.
Why?
I don't know. There was like a board of trustees or whatever, and they were like, nah, no more of this stuff. She's got the video, and she was like, that's what's called I think she called it a Class A EVP, which is an electronic voice phenomena or something. Yeah. She's like, that's a great video. She's like, that is awesome. And I still have it. I kept it, yeah.
Crazy.
Sarah was the little girl's name.
Oh, my God.
Yep. So that's my ghost story.
You're a great fucking storyteller, by the way.
She thinks Lee's like, it's the worst story ever. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, it's too long. You got to cut it back. I'm like, you got to set the premise. You got to set. She's like, no.
This is the place you want to tell
I know.
Story.
She'll listen to this and be like, nah, that shit was too long. She will.
For anybody that doesn't know, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. Tim and Lee are together. I don't know if you want to let more cats out of the bag.
Meow.
But they know each other very well.
Yeah.
And I met Tim through Lee, and he's a fucking character so far. So we've covered quite a bit. We've covered ghost stories to bartending to and then we've covered. Oh my God, we're getting all over the place. And we were talking about bionic shit before and the future. And should we go down that road?
Dude, you want to go down the rabbit hole? Go for it.
If there's any place to do it, it's here.
This is the place.
We were talking about
just technology.
Oh, it's fucking nuts, man.
You're
nuts.
in it. I mean, you're knee deep in it.
Yeah,
with everything.
The shit that. I mean, we deal with like a lot of business stuff, so it's not so much like we're dealing with like cutting edge technology, but it's not like the next biomedical device or the next we came up with this kind of crazy thing or whatever it is. It's we deal with the business side, but still, you got to keep your fingers on the pulse. And I mean, some of the shit that I'm reading on a regular basis, and I have buddies that are coming out of the military now, and they're like, oh, just so you know, like there's technology that'll pick up the vibrations in a house that could figure out what you're saying. And I'm like, that's fucking insanity. Yep. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, there's no avoiding it at this point. No, it's moving like a freight train. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask you, have you ever crashed your bike? No, I've never crashed my bike. It's an embarrassing story. I laid it down while I was standing once. Oh. Yeah, that was dumb. Like all of a sudden, just like boop, just fell riding
over.
Or just
no, just standing. I was standing still. I was taken out of my storage unit. I had it in at the time. I backed it out, and all of a sudden I just like tipped over, and I was so bent out of shape. because I scratched like a little piece of it. I was like, son of a.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only time I knock on wood. I've never laid it down.
Very good.
Yeah.
That was a question I wanted to ask before,
Yeah.
but to get more into technology, I think I'm so excited though for when we get biomechanical shit. I want a fake arm. I want to be the next Winter Soldier. I want that fake arm. I want like if somebody like I don't know.
Think about it. You're gonna go scratch your ass with that bionic hand. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I don't think about it like that.
Open that beer.
Yeah, it's just
damn
crush.
it. Right.
But I'm so excited, and we came up with this crazy idea of the Deadpool, maybe like a Deadpool concept where it's like, I broke my hand or I broke my arm off or cut my arm off, whatever it is, and all of a sudden it starts to grow back right away. I'm like, that's fucking wild.
It's all stem cell stuff that they're doing now is unbelievable.
I want to get stem cell injections.
Yeah, they people are swearing by this stuff.
Yeah, apparently it's the bee's knees.
Yeah, it's the next thing. It's supposed to be amazing. I mean, anybody that's out there that still has wisdom teeth. Apparently, there's a website where you can now bank stem cells, and for anyone that has kids or anything along those lines, like you can bank stem cells now, and I don't think it's that expensive. I think it's like $125 a year to store it, which is nothing.
Yeah,
and then like an initial whatever it is to get it. But like they were saying for wisdom teeth, you can they'll send you a package that has something you put it in. You take the wisdom teeth out, put it right in there. It has stem cell already in it.
Did your wisdom teeth already have stem cells in them?
Yeah. They're saying they're already in there.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's crazy. Otherwise, as we get older, like my wisdom teeth are gone.
Yeah,
you got to drill into your bone, and from what I hear, it's not pleasant.
No, I have to get that done soon.
Yeah,
not looking forward to it.
Wisdom teeth?
Yeah,
they're fun, man.
All 4.
Yeah, but get them all done. I got mine done in the military, and I said they were like, there's only 2 that are impacted. I said take all 4. They were like, you don't need all 4. I'm like, I'm never coming back. I'm telling you right now, take all 4, or you will never see me again. Yeah, and they did. I got them all done.
Oh man,
it's fun. Not really.
I can only imagine the world will suck.
They give you some good drugs.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
That's the only thing.
I had arm surgery once, and they gave me they gave me oxycodones.
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Those things are delightful.
A whole new world.
I fucking, it's like I could never sit down and watch TV for like 7-8 hours. I would fucking
binge watch.
Oh my god,
commercials.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I feel fucking great. I'm like, this fucking TV is amazing. I'm like, this is fantastic. And then like it would wear off, and you're like, Jesus Christ Almighty, I'm in so much pain. But oh my, drugs are fucking.
It's crazy.
I could definitely see how people get addicted.
Yeah, man, they get roped into. I think Florida had the biggest problem with oxycodone.
They still do, as far as I know. Yeah, I mean, unless they figure out how to control it.
Yeah,
but
I heard it was crazy down there.
But there was some crazy statistic that
the oxy train they were calling it or something, because they were getting it down there and then moving it up into into Carolina.
But they were moving so many. The doctors were prescribing. I forget how many it was, but it was like 10 times the dosage, or like they would on average the state was prescribing 10 times more than any other state in the country.
That's insane.
Like that's fucking nuts.
And they were actually. Like I would go to your one doctor, get it, and my back hurt, and then go to the other one and say the same thing, and you make your rounds at the time. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's scary. But we got our own problems up here with
heroin.
Heroin's crazy.
Heroin is fucking bad.
Yeah.
They just whose podcast was I just listening to? It's fentanyl. But it's fentanyl, but now there's another letter. I think it's like fentanyl K or something like that, or K fentanyl or something like that.
To be...
But now it's like fentanyl is like 1,000 times stronger than meth or something like that, and then now it's like this K fentanyl is like 10,000 times stronger. So it's like they're saying like one drop of this. I fucking can't remember the name of it, but like let's just say K fentanyl. They say one drop they can use to cut up into pounds of heroin because it's that potent. And they're like, oh yeah, like, all right, so you're gonna get this, and you don't know what's in it. It's not like it's being given from a pharmacy,
right.
and they cut up one little drop into it, and all of a sudden now it's like, this is fucking amazing, and let's do another one. Sure enough, now and it's ridiculously lethal.
Yeah, it's killing people left and right.
Yeah.
We personally know like 3 families that have lost kids to them to heroin, which is, dude, it's crazy.
Oh, it's fucking nuts.
People just dropping like flies.
It's crazy.
There's one guy in Kings Park that and I don't even know if he's on heroin. He's on something, but we see this kid all the time, and I swear to you, it's funny and it's not funny because he's like always like dancing like in the street. I'm like, this guy's whacked out of his shit right now, and I'm like, what's he got? Like, and we see him all the time. Lee's like, there he is again. He's like just up and down in the right by Marshall's over there. It's the funniest thing to see this guy, but it's so embedded.
It's
in the community.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, drugs in general. And I'm not saying nobody should never do drugs. I think pot should be legal 100%. And
it's
I think
already there.
And
we've got the dispensaries here. It's just a matter of time.
Oh yeah. Finally, New York did something right for once. But it's crazy. Coke is a Schedule 2. I didn't even know this because apparently somebody decided it has some kind of medical benefits, which I think blows my mind. But pot was Schedule 1 for the longest time.
Now they're finding a lot of things that pot can help with. Yeah, cancer research now with pot too.
Cancer research. What's the other? MDMA, ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is huge too with PTSD and stuff like that. I mean, it's fucking nuts.
It's about freaking time.
Oh my god!
Get on the bandwagon. It's something that's been needed for a long time, and I'm glad that they're doing a lot of this stuff.
Me too. I know. I was just listening to another podcast. There was it's called I think it was called the war. Is there a war on sugar on Freakonomics? And it talks about like these people that said, sugar isn't bad, it's saturated fat, and then they proved, it's sugar that's bad, saturated fat is fine for you. And then now, I think it's Coca-Cola just paid a fuck ton of money to agencies to basically say, no, it's not sugar. It's because they don't have anything else to blame it on. They're blaming it on the people. You don't do enough exercise or you don't have a mobile enough day that is why you're fat and obese. It's not because of the sugar in the drinks.
Did that just recently happen?
Yeah.
No kidding. Yep. I didn't hear that. That's nuts.
So they're paying all this money to come up with these tests that say, like, if you drink Coke, it's just because you're not active enough. That's why you're doing this.
Right.
And but it's like, Jesus, like...
Well, going back, and that's funny that you mentioned that, because that's how this whole thing started. Mm-hmm. The companies, there was some scientists that were bought out back in the day to the tune of like $50,000 today's money, which is not a lot of money, to come up with this campaign saying that it wasn't sugar, that it was saturated fat.
Yep.
And now we're finding out that it is sugar. I think it came out in the Times that it was sugar that's the cause of heart disease.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
And then it's like, do we regulate sugar? Do we not regulate sugar? Do we tax the drinks more? And I'm like, a part of me is like, they say in the podcast, they say like that the price has to go up about 20% for people to show an actual decline in sales,
right?
And which I thought was actually pretty interesting. But there was some guy, he's like, there should be a tax on that, and I'm like, you know what? It's kind of like personal choice. I mean, anybody can go out and get a pack of cigarettes.
Yep.
All you got to do is be of age, and you can go and smoke till the day you die, and it'll kill you faster than anything.
It'll definitely kill you.
And I'm like, holy shit. And I mean, the same thing in the 50s. They tried to come up with research that says cigarettes are good for you and you should smoke cigarettes. And I'm like, holy shit.
The same thing with coconut oil. They said coconut oil was bad for you.
Oh, yeah.
And
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When we were at war with Japan, we couldn't get coconuts. So we went to all the other type of oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, corn oil.
Yeah.
Once we were done with the war and we could get coconut oil, they came up with campaigns saying coconut oil is bad for you because they were making fortune in everything else.
I can only imagine.
Coconut oil turns out to be the best oil for you.
Yeah. It's coconut and avocado oil.
Yep.
Both of them.
It's all coming out now.
It's fucking nuts,
We've been lied to. Conspiracy.
Yeah, big time. Big time. It really is. it's a crazy fucking world we live in. I know a girl that she just posted, and I thought this was kind of an asinine statement, and I'm not going to say who it is, but she was like, they're still putting fluoride in your water. Don't drink tap water ever. And I was like, like I didn't want to comment. Like I was just like, like let me let this one ride. I'll monitor it. I'll just see. And like so many people like, oh my God, thanks for the advice. And I was like,
sheep.
I don't want it to be the one that brings the news to them. But I was like, hey, just so you all know, first of all, there was a bunch of laws that were passed saying that they're not allowed to put fluoride in your water, and they're like, well, what about the shady facilities that still do? And I'm like, well, if you're really that concerned, I gave them like a bunch of links to Amazon products, like test fluoride in the water, right. And chlorine was the other one, and chlorine in the water. I'm like, I'm like, look, if you're that concerned, be like, at least post like, don't say stop drinking the tap water. I think that's ridiculous. Yep. But at least put in like the facts that you like read, and then I gave like links.
I'm sorry, there's facts.
Oh, right, crazy, fucking crazy. And then I posted and I was like, yeah, like the FDA and the Surgeon General and this, that, and the other thing, and whatever. To each his own with those. And then somebody else commented, like, oh, like I'm gonna trust the government. I'm like, bitch, I didn't say you need to trust the government. Just go out and get a fucking tester. Like, this is not rocket science here. All you gotta do is dip the thing in water, and it tells you if there's fluoride in there.
Yeah, but the government created those.
Oh yeah, because they're lying to you.
Come on, dude. Somebody told me once. I heard this. Who's crazier, the crazy person or the person that argues with the crazy person?
I might win.
Right. That's why I don't argue with crazy people. I don't argue with crazy. I just let crazy do crazy. And I just do my own thing. Because the minute you go down that rabbit hole, you're going to have exactly like that guy that came out of the woodwork.
My God.
The government. Okay, dude, that's fine. And look, I'm not saying the government is,
Yep.
But do your own thing.
Yeah. I'm like, look, it's one thing to be like, hey, there was an article I read, and it was from this, and they say there's still fluoride in the water. Just everybody do your own research and things like. Like, I understand like the public awareness type thing.
Who are you to tell me I can't drink the water?
Exactly. And I was like, I'm not really looking for a fight, but like once I saw all like the sheep, like you said, the sheep,
you get pulled in, right?
And I'm like. Somebody's got to say something. I'm like, these fucking poor people, and then I'm going back and forth with my buddy, and he's like, this is crazy. I'm like, I'm not trying to start and sure enough, like, there's a million comments long, and people are like, oh, you're right, and other people are like, no, and I'm like, look, I'm not saying to do whatever. I don't give a fuck. You drink the water, you don't drink the water. I'm just saying. And then she's like, well, it's a blanket statement. I go, well, isn't that just fucking convenient? Then?
Right, exactly.
All this fucking war that you created on Facebook.
It's a blanket statement.
Oh, it's a blanket statement. I'm like, well...
Cop out.
Yeah, I'm like, next time, if you're going to do a blanket statement, make it a little more accurate.
No. People talk out of their ass all the time.
It's crazy.
All the time.
I'm probably guilty of it, too. I'm not going to lie, but...
We all are guilty of it. But with social media now, it goes off on a tangent.
Oh, yeah.
Unravels. Yeah. Like sitting in the room here, you and I just bullshitting. I just talk shit. And
absolutely.
You start doing this on podcasts or putting it up on Facebook, and that just takes on its own life.
I saw there's a fucking hysterical video, and it's like this electric fence, and it's opening slowly, and there's like two like Rottweiler, like one's a Rottweiler, one's a pit bull, fucking going after these like 4 or 5 like little dogs on the other side of the fence, and these fucking Rottweilers and this Rottweiler and the pit bull would have ripped these dogs to shred if there was a fight. And the fence is slowly opening, and I'm trying to paint a picture for everybody. And the fence is slowly opening, and the dogs are staying where they can't get to each other. And then as soon as the fence opens, they all turn like they all turn around and walk away, and they go, "This is online arguing."
Yeah,
and I was like, "It's so true."
It's hysterical.
It's like, now you have to talk to me in person. All of a sudden, all this shit just went out the fucking window.
Oh no, they are 10 feet tall and bulletproof.
Oh my god! Yep. And I'm like, and then I had another buddy, and I used to be. I shouldn't say I used to be because I still kind of am. Like, I try to be like a little bit of a Facebook troll, and it's kind of like getting a little weird because some people like I deal like business with, they like friend me, and I'm like,
probably not a good idea.
And then I'm like, I have the podcast, so they're gonna hear it anyway, whatever. And
now I gotta delete some photos.
Yeah. I think that's crazy that people do that. I get it for when you're trying to get the first job, but once you have that resume, I don't think
go for. Trust me, I know a bunch of people that are in the recruiting world. They look into that. They look into your background. They go into your Facebook.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Crazy.
Well, I'm fucked because as soon as Harrison Barr and Burtally Honest comes up, let me listen to a couple hours. This kid's disqualified,
and he's out.
Yeah, but it blows my this whole social media thing that's taken over the world, and the new statistic: the more time you spend on social media, the lonelier you. I don't want to fuck it up. It's like the lonelier or less adept you are to talking to people, or you feel like you're a lone wolf and it makes you feel worse, believe it or not, this whole social media thing. And it's unintentional, at least I believe, unless there's Illuminati's coming at it again. But apparently, like, the more time you spend on social media, you're looking at all these people, especially Instagram's the worst because it's all photos, and you're like, oh, look at Dan Bilzerian, and oh my god, he's with 35 girls, and he's on this yacht, and he's in wherever, and the next day he's here, and he's flying his own private plane. You're like, oh, why that can't be me? Oh, fuck this guy, whatever. And then you're like, oh, the world sucks. He fucking got it all, and I don't have nothing, and like, I kind of see how it could happen. But I'm like, that's nuts. That not so much that it causes that, but how much time people spend on social media because it's at your fingertips.
Yep, so easily accessible.
And
I know tons of people like that. They can't get off of it. They cannot get off Facebook constantly checking their Instagram, constantly checking their Twitter. I'm like, dude, walk away. My brother's a graphic artist.
Uh-huh.
He's a realtor, but he's phenomenal at photography and graphic art. We went to Maine. Maine to me is like my church. Like, Maine is amazing country, like, world. It's a different world.
Yeah.
We would go up there. We went up there almost 10 years straight. We had a cabin on the lake. Like, we'd go there. No cell phone service. Like,
nice. That's the best.
Yeah, the cell phone was my coaster. Like, I would put my beer on it. That's So we're sitting, and it would take literally. You can Lee went up there as well. It takes anyone that goes up there. It takes them 3 days to acclimate. 3 days. You're like a heroin addict. Like people like bugging out. There's no TV.
You fucking need it though.
I love it.
I would love.
It's a complete disconnect.
Yep, unplug from the world.
100%.
It's kind of hard in this field. Because it's like this is, and not even so much the podcast. The podcast I could leave whatever for a week or two, but it's hard in technology because the next big thing could happen
right now.
Yep. And if you don't know about it, you immediately, well, why do I trust you with my technology? You don't know about this?
Right.
What do you mean you don't know about this? It's been around for 3 days already. You don't. What do you mean you don't know about this? And I'm like, wait, hold on. And it's usually nothing like ridiculously crazy, but it's every once in a while there's that holy shit factor. And if you don't know about it and you can't talk about it in conversation, you immediately discredit. What do you mean? Why am I trusting you with my technology and what's progressing every day if you don't know the latest and greatest thing that happened 3 days ago?
But that's the problem with technology right now is that it's moving so fast that you get left behind. For those people that don't follow technology, you will get left behind in a minute. Like, you don't know how to you don't know how to do that. Like, it's moving so. That's why kids nowadays, you hand a kid an iPhone, they know how to use it better than you do.
Oh yeah.
They're suddenly like, what the hell is going on? These kids know how to hack this thing.
Yep.
As we get older, you either stay on or you fall off.
Yep.
Like, there's just no in between.
Yep. I want to get big into like deep woods hunting. We're going out for like 3, 4, 5 days.
You ready for that? I saw you're a pretty good shot of the archery.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
You go to the range down in
Pachogi.
Pachogi.
Yeah. Actually, ironically enough, I was always taught to shoot with one eye closed.
Yeah.
And I'm right eye dominant, so I'd always draw back. And for anybody that doesn't know how to shoot a bow, you have your anchor points. You bend your elbow a certain way, and on the bow you have your a bubble level, so the bow is perfectly straight every time. You have some people have a thing that they hold on to, or it wraps around your wrist. I particularly have one that wraps around your wrist, and your hand sits directly in an anchor point on your cheek, and it has to sit there every single time. Your shots are going to be all over the place. Yep. And I'm shooting, and I'm like, I fucking shoot all the time. I'm shooting. I'm deep into the 5,000-10,000 arrow range at this point, because I'll go out and I'll shoot 100 arrows. That's easy. Awesome. And I would say 5 to be definitely safe, and 10 if I'm pushing it.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I can't get my groupings that great. They're all the size of a softball. I'm like, this is ridiculous, driving me insane. And I'm like, I shoot a shotgun with both eyes open, and I shoot a rifle sometimes with both eyes open. I'm like, why am I not shooting a bow with both eyes open? And all of a sudden, I opened up my left eye, and you have to kind of follow the target because it shifts when you're looking through it. And immediately,
boom,
like fucking, I woke up,
yep.
And I mean, all in the size of a nickel.
Yep,
I'm
see
like,
it.
This is ridiculous.
I saw the shots. That was great.
And thank you, I appreciate the compliment. But I just. I don't, and then I come back here and I talk to one of the guys because he's pretty big into bows, and he goes, "Yeah, who told you to shoot with one eye closed? Do you shoot bow?
I do.
What do you do one eye closed? Or?
I do. I try both actually. I try both. I close one eye.
Okay.
I do close one eye. I can see the peep better.
Oh really?
Yeah.
But as soon as I did it, I was like. And it wasn't even like I was like trying any harder. Right. I was trying the same
exact thing.
And I was just like, oh my! And they're just, and I actually almost got a little mad because I was afraid I was going to tear another fletching because I just got the arrows that day back from getting refletched, and I was like, I got to stop shooting. I'm going to start tearing the fletchings off. Now I got to go to 40. I was like, I've mastered 20. Took me 2-3 years to figure it out, and all of a sudden that one adjustment
brought it all together.
Oh my god. Because I had the form, I don't know if my form is perfect, but I had the form.
Works for you?
Yeah, it works for me, and I had the anchor point set and everything like that, and the hand slightly closed, whatever. And I just, as soon as I did that, next level.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We got to go shoot.
We do. The and the best part about it, especially like not saying that here's bad, but. You can leave and you can go shoot archery, and it's like meditation.
Oh yeah, and in the zone.
Oh, and you just block everything out. And for and I'm sure most people that listen to this don't shoot archery, but it's like something else. Like you shoot a gun, you could shoot 1,000,000 rounds, and it's fun. But like this is like meditate. Like you have to focus and adjust.
Breathing
and breathe. You got to go on the exhale, and I've gotten in the habit now of figuring out the heartbeat and pulling the trigger in between heartbeats. It's a fucking weird experience.
Yep,
a weird experience.
Have you taken it out to the woods yet?
No, not yet.
Because that adds a whole new level.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Whole new level.
I'm kind of curious to see how I feel after I shoot my first animal, because I'm pretty much.
You mean target?
Yeah. No, fuck that. I'm hunting. But I'm pretty much like flatlined all the time. Like I don't really get those spikes, but I'm kind of excited to see what happens.
But you shot gun.
Oh yeah.
A hunted gun?
No, never hunted gun.
Buck fever. Have you heard buck fever?
Oh yeah. I'm so excited to get out there.
Yeah. That leg shake. Man, throws it right into the mix. Boy.
Oh really?
So you're getting all the breathing and everything in right now? Yeah. Wait till you get out there. That's your heart's pounding through your chest when you see that monster walk out.
Oh my god!
Your leg starts to shake. Like you're barely able to breathe. It's crazy.
It's so because one of the guys I worked with, I think he shot 2 bucks when he was in Texas, and monster fucking bucks, monster bucks, and And every hunter does it, and they always like look back at the camera and they show their hands, the hands trembling. Yeah. You're like, holy shit!
Completely different.
I'm afraid to get addicted to it.
To the tremble?
No, to the hunt.
Why?
Because I will quit my job.
It goes every year. It comes around every year.
Oh, I know, but it's just be like, I could just not go to work today.
Sit go hunting. First of all, I've tried. And nothing against the hunting here on the island. There's plenty of deer on the island. A lot of ticks on the island and stuff, so I'm not so sure about the meat. Plus, I've hunted on the island, and it's so overcrowded, dude. I've
heard. You got to go all the way upstate.
Lord. I've been out here when the sun comes up and a deer goes by and there's like 18 arrows go flying, and you're like, what in the fuck is going on?
Really?
Yeah, it's like, and you're like, what the fuck is...
Yeah, you got to know somebody with property.
Yeah. My uncle has property upstate. If you want to come, let's do it.
Absolutely.
We'll probably, August, we're going up to rebuild some of the tree stands up there.
Nice.
So,
Let me know, man. I'll be more than happy to take a little road trip.
Yeah, that's... so the place where you went, Smith Point, right? That's where where you shoot?
Yeah.
So I used to go down there all the time with a buddy of mine, and we would sight in the bows and blah, blah, and we were down there one time, and there was 3 of us, and we were taking shots back and forth. And, do they still have the exposed beams up top?
Yeah.
And they have the arrows of people that have split arrows? Have you seen them?
No, they don't have the arrows.
They don't have them
arrows,
anymore?
No.
They used to have, across the beams, they would have people that split arrows would sign. Right, they would put them up on top. So we're sitting there one time and I'm just taking shots back and forth, and one of my friends looks up and he's like, what is that? I'm like, it's people that have split arrows, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, holy shit. I'm like, that's a 1 in a million shot.
Yeah.
The next shot I take, I hear ting, and we just look at each other. I'm like, I'm not going down there by myself. And we walk down there, I split the arrow right down the middle. I still have it. I kept it.
Oh, I would get that fucking thing in a glass box.
But it's ridiculous when you look at it, because if you take the notch off of the arrow, it's a point on the back of that arrow. So that arrow had to hit that point perfectly to embed itself into the other arrow. It's a 1 in a million shot, man.
One of my buddies, Tyler, he handful of times shooting, he fucking got it. I'm like,
it's a luck of the job.
Oh my god,
because I can't do it again. I guarantee I'll never do it again. That's why I kept the arrow.
Yeah. Oh, I don't blame you. I'd get a glass box. I'd get like custom wood glued down on another nice piece of like mahogany, just to hold the arrow.
Yep.
Two little V's and just
put a spotlights on it.
Yeah, lights inside. Get a little plaque, date, time, where it was. Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I would go if something like that. That's only gonna happen
once.
Oh yeah, once.
I mean, I'd be shocked, but. Yeah, that was I kept that arrow, and I wrote the date and where it happened and the whole 9 yards. But yeah, my bow I love that thing. I just recently took it back out. I've got it in the backyard. I've been practicing.
Nice, man. Nice. Gotta be careful. Don't want the neighbors to complain.
My neighbor's a hunter too.
Oh, then you're golden. My property isn't big enough. We're quite big enough to shoot bow on, but it's far enough away that nobody really looks. So it's. Or separated enough that nobody sees you. Yeah, nobody really sees it.
Right.
And then I shoot into my shed, so if I miss, it's going to hit the shed and not somebody's house.
Right. We got plenty of I shoot from my top deck down to a target that I have on, so it's going down.
Nice.
Into the ground. So if I miss, I'm hitting the ground.
Yeah. I haven't buried one arrow. I almost buried one arrow. I had to dig it up. It was like 2 or 3 inches in.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Boy, I never realized because I had just gotten the bow a couple of years ago. I never realized how powerful it was. Those fucking things. I drew back, looking down the sight, and I shot, and I missed the target. And I was shooting at a wine box, and we just filled it with towels, whatever, at my buddy's house. And I had just gone over it, through the fence, 4 inches deep in a 4x4. I mean, it was almost through, and I was like, holy shit. Man. Like, that's crazy.
It's a missile.
Oh, yeah. Probably, I mean, not as powerful as a gun, but it might go deeper.
Yep.
It's fucking nuts.
And then you add to it the broadheads.
Oh, you slice through anything. I almost sliced my fingers open the other day. They got me. They got me good. I was like, I need something for the broadheads, because I'm like, I had the broadheads in the quiver, and I was like, I want to shoot with the quiver on so I get used to the weight and arrows in it, and I would keep the broadheads just pushed up in the quiver. And for anybody who doesn't know what a broadhead is it's one of the lethal tips in hunting. And usually some of them have razors on it, and they're fixed blade or mechanical blade, so they'll open up when they hit or whatever it is. So they're like, oh, we don't have anything. And I was like, all right. They're like, oh, we have an arrow case. So I was like, all right, I'll get an arrow case. I'll put my arrows in there. And then, of course, I buy that. And then they're like, oh, we found this. And I'm like, all right, all right, keep taking the card out, whatever it is. Oh, God, they got me. They got me good. I was like, son of a bitch, man. You go in there to shoot arrows, whatever. You pay the $10 to walk in, and then it's $10 to walk in, and then
$200 to walk out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, you have these arrows? Right. We still have one set in stock, and they're super rare. Oh, I guess I'll drop $150 on new arrows. Oh, I need to get them refletched too. All right, $300.
Who's behind the counter there? Not. I think it was Jeff, the big tall guy, his ex-policeman, bald head. But there was a guy that tunes up the bows.
There's a new guy now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There was a guy with a beard or whatever.
Yeah.
He had a recurve, and he was ridiculous. I would watch him shoot that recurve. It was unbelievable.
Oh, I can only imagine.
He was nuts. He would like shoot side, like he was Robin Hood. Like the stuff he would do is amazing.
You see the guy on YouTube? He'll put arrows in between his fingers, and he'll shoot a recurve, and he will. The way he does it, he doesn't shoot like.
Was it like rapid fire?
Yeah,
like just
dude. Because like we have to put like I'm assuming a righty, so we put the arrow on the left hand side of the bow and whatever. He shoots off he's a righty, and he shoots off the right side of the bow, and he just has a straight bow. There's no indentation at all, and he uses his grip and the finger that sits on there to use as the rest.
Wow.
And he'll go like thwack, thwack,
thwack,
and she can shoot 3 arrows while he jumps. Boom, boom, boom. And he's pretty fucking accurate. Like, it's crazy. Like, holy shit level. And he did all this research, and he was like, look at all this, like, the hieroglyphics and the old Indian tribes. And he goes, look, they have multiple arrows in their fingers. And he's like, I don't think it was because they didn't have quivers. I think it was because that's how they shot them, to shoot them faster,
right,
to get them off. And I was like, oh my God.
That makes sense.
And I was like, that's believable.
Yeah.
Definitely believable.
I can't do it.
No. I mean, that's practice. Yeah. But I saw a couple videos of it, and he'll do like a 360 and fire off he'll jump, do 360 and fire off 3 arrows and hit 3 targets. He might hit paper, but he's still hitting paper. And,
that's talent. That's crazy talent.
I mean, this dude's a savage. I'll show you the video when we wrap this thing up. But the dude's a savage. I got to pull it up so I don't forget.
That's hysterical. But there's some serious talent out there with this stuff.
Oh my God. And I don't know how anybody shoots the giant ones with the dampening. What the fuck is the name of it? The thing on the front, and when you go to like
the crossbows, you mean?
No, not the crossbows. It's what is it? It's not the damper. It sticks off the bottom of the bows towards the bottom end, and it comes off like for hunting bows. It only comes off like 6-7 inches, but like for like professional recurve targets, those things will go like 2-3 feet sometimes.
Oh, you're talking about the ballast or whatever?
Yeah.
The weight.
I don't know how the fuck they shoot those things. They're huge.
They are huge.
Huge.
I mean, but I don't know. I've never tried. I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah. Rapid fires, arrows.
So you want to do deep woods?
Oh, I would love to go in. I don't want to go in.
Experience like camping?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, Eagle Scout. I guess that's. I know. Yeah, nothing crazy, but enough to. You know what? I definitely think I can hold my own, and I've done quite a bit of like self-teaching and things like that. And all right, what works, what doesn't work, what do I need to take in, and packing and hiking and shit like that.
Backpack, your own stuff. Yep. You have your own gear.
Yeah,
all 9 yards.
Yep.
Nice.
I don't think I'd want to go in too far to the point where, all right, now if I do hit an elk or something like that, now I gotta haul 1,000 fucking pounds out, 8 miles in, 8 miles out, like
surrounded by fucking man eaters.
Yep. I want to be able to be like, all right, I killed an elk. Let me go get the car and let me trek it up there and be able to throw it in the car. Like somebody's got like, I don't know if you know Cameron Haynes.
Yeah.
Guy's a savage.
He's a beast.
And but like, I don't think I couldn't.
Well,
I couldn't hike in and hike out.
You're just starting that kind of thing. You're not going to go and jump into the deep end of the pool now. You're going to start hunting,
Yeah, tree stand.
Right. Not Long Island, but upstate New York, and work your way up to like Colorado.
Yeah. And those guys are animals.
Yeah,
Animals.
I have friends that do that. That go up to like the New York Canadian border, and they'll go up there and hunt.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Crazy stuff that they come back with.
I know. And one of my buddies, he's always proposed going to Texas for hunting out of the helicopter, and you just fucking take a machine gun and lay down rounds on wild hogs because they're an invasive species. So you gotta
species.
like.
I'm shocked we don't have any on the island yet.
Oh, me too. I'm waiting. It's actually legal to kill hogs in New York because they're afraid that if you start killing them, that somebody is going to start breeding them to hunt more, and then they're going to open up a fenced hunting area.
Actually, so I'm curious. Well, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I'm also curious. There's something with coyotes too. Have you heard that whole thing with coyotes? So you know how coyotes talk to one another?
Yeah.
So we waged a war on coyotes a long time ago, and we've never won. Yeah. Because what ends up happening is they're not just talking to one another. It turns out that if that coyote doesn't answer, the female, something triggers in the female where she has more. More.
It's fucking
bigger
nuts.
Litter.
Yeah.
And
Dan Flores talks about it.
There's a book about it as well. That talks
I think Dan Flores wrote it. But he's,
which is pretty...
guy's an animal. I listened to a whole episode on him.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff. So I wonder if hogs do the same thing because they're out of control.
No, the problem with hogs, and I've done actually a bit of research on this now, they are able to breed at such a young age that they only have to wait 6 months to start breeding. Oh. And they have large litters. They'll have 3, 4, 5, 6 piglets. Piglets at a time. So because they're producing so many so often, it's impossible. And
that's crazy.
And they get to the point where they get so determined that apparently if they could fit their snout in like a fence or something like that, they will just keep going until they get through. They'll just go and go and go. And because they're invasive, they get a really thick hide. And because they get a really thick hide, predators can't get through it to kill them. It's like
they're a machine.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
It's fucking nuts.
I can't imagine.
I watch a YouTube video called this guy he's called Deer Meat for Dinner. The guy's awesome, and he goes out and they did one episode and they get a hog, but it was in like the off season, so it was like slimmer, and he's like, oh, I want to eat him, but I'll eat him at a later date. So he ties up the hog, lays him down, cuts his nuts open, and castrates him right there on the spot and lets him go. And apparently it fucks with his like hormones and stuff like that, so he gets even fatter. And apparently, like, if you can turn it from a boar to a bar when you castrate him, they're like, apparently, like, the bee's knees delicious.
What?
Yeah, it's like this whole science that they did and he's like, and I don't have to worry about it breeding now because it can't.
Interesting, right?
And I was like, holy shit, like. And like if he's like, I try to get like, he goes, if I can, I'll try to kill, and he cuts the tail off, so he knows like, oh, if it's a short tail, it's one I've already gotten.
Correct.
So he knows like, all right, if I'm gonna go hunt, I'll kill both, but I definitely want to make sure I get the one with the short tail so I can eat that one.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous how deep he goes, and he talks about some of the science of it, but fucking, and then. So he castrates him, whatever. Apparently, it's like a pretty clean process for the most part. Unties him, lets the hog go, and like he shows him, like, look, like there's not that much fat on him, but he's still got a thick hide. He goes, in a couple months, he's gonna have like a straight inch of fat all around him. He goes, that's pretty much unpenetrable by other animals for the most part. And the hog and he's showing like the teeth of the hog, and he goes, they fucking will bite their teeth hard enough and crack them. So it creates like razor sharp teeth. He goes, yeah, it's called popping, and they'll chew and bite and break their teeth until they get sharp teeth, and that gives them the ability to chew through shit. And he goes through this whole thing and lets the hog go. And thank God he had jeans on when he did it, because the hog goes like 10 yards and zips back and fucking bites his leg.
What?
And it just broke the jeans a little bit, and it didn't break skin, but he like. And then he like ties him, like grabs him again, throws him out in the woods, and the hog finally left. But I was like, holy shit. Crazy fucking animals.
That's something you don't want to piss off in the woods.
No.
Can you imagine?
No, it
turns on you. So you've done enough camping out there. Where have you camped?
I've done a lot of like upstate New York.
Okay.
I've done Long Island. I've done Connecticut, Rhode Island. What else
like deep woods, or you're talking campgrounds?
No, I'd say deep woods. I mean, nothing too crazy, but I'd say deep. I mean, we did.
So you're comfortable out in the middle of
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Okay. Not at all. As long as I have a compass and a fucking map, I'm pretty good at getting home.
Nice. Any crazy stories of things that you've encountered out there? You know, the rabid chipmunk, or
my brother almost got fucked up by a bear. He went to Boy Scout camp, and and I forget the exact story, but my brother's much younger. He's 13 now, but he happened to go out and something happened. Like you have your rules. All right, you got to set the bear bag, and the bear bag's got to be 10 yards off the ground. You got to tie a rope in between two trees so he can't get to your food and whatever in your backpack. And I guess maybe he had something in his tent or something like that. And all of us, like, I think the tent had gotten shredded. Like, the bear, he was in the tent. It was him and another boy. And the bear had, like, clawed through the tent. And I want to say, I can't remember if the bear's mouth was actually around his head at one point. Like,
your brother?
Yeah, my brother. And, like, the bear was around camp, and he was like, what the fuck? And apparently, I guess, maybe the bear wasn't going to bite him, but it was, like, right there. And, he like was like, oh my god, and they booked out of the tent, and like right there in camp, the whole nine. And
where was it? Is this New York?
Yeah, it was in upstate New York.
Wow.
And it was I believe it was a black bear.
Black bear.
Yeah, it had to be a black bear. But apparently it was pretty fucking. And then he
apparently shit, it's a bear, dude.
Yeah. And they had to. He wound up coming home for like 2 or 3 days. My mom like drove him home, whatever.
PTSD.
I don't know. I don't think it's PTSD. He tells a story. I mean, yeah, I can only imagine.
A soiled underwear at that point.
Oh my god, I don't know what the fuck I would. I feel like honestly, I think if I had to go out in the woods like that and I was going alone, I'd have to have a pistol with me just in case. Like I'm not going to hunt with it, but you get in a sticky situation like that,
you need something.
Yeah,
no question.
You're not knocking an arrow and shooting that thing fast enough. Nope. And a rifle. Come on, let's be realistic here.
Yes, so I agree with you, but the handgun, unless you've got like a Desert Eagle, or a Magnum, you're really not going to do anything to a bear.
I know.
It might scare them.
Yeah.
But so I go camping. My uncle's got property upstate. He's got like 500 acres. Uh-huh. It's just west of Albany. It's, are you familiar with Cobleskill?
Yep. Yeah,
so he's got property up there. It's like 500 acres. That's where I go camping. There's nobody around.
I can only imagine.
So I used to go up there with a bunch of friends. There was like 4 or 5 of us that would go up Memorial Day weekend. We'd go for like 5 days.
Uh-huh.
And as we get older, people started getting married, having kids. They all fell off. And then I skipped a couple of seasons because nobody else was going. And I was like, fuck this. Why am I waiting for everybody else to go?
Yeah.
I'm like, so I sent out the invites, Memorial Day weekend. I'm like, I'm going up. You know where I'm going to be. Feel free to come up.
Yeah.
So nobody shows up. I go up by myself. I bring a gun with me. I bring a Winchester 30-30 with me. It was my dad's, and this thing will knock the wings off of a fly at 100 yards. Like, this thing is retarded. So I'm up there. My uncle lives up there. He lives down the road, and I hear a quad coming up the side of the hill one day, and I'm like, this has got to be him. There's nobody else up here. He comes up to the top, and he stops the quad, shuts it off, and he stands up. He's an older gentleman. He takes off his goggles and he looks around, and I come out of the tent and he looks at me. He goes, "You're up here by yourself?" And I go, "Yeah." He was like, "What are you, fucking nuts?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "We have bears up here, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got my Winchester with me." I'm like, "It's me or the bear."
Yeah.
If it's your turn to go, it could be up there with a bear or down here by a bus. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I will say that the one freaky thing about being and going, have you ever gone by yourself, camping by yourself?
No.
It's a different experience, completely different experience.
I can only imagine.
Because you're inside your own head.
Yeah.
So the first couple of days that I was out there, I was freaked out. I don't think I slept a full night for the first 2 days.
I can only imagine.
I was bugging, like you're laying there, you're like hearing things, But after that, like once you get yourself into your mode, I slept like a baby.
Yeah.
I call my brain grandma's attic because there's so much shit up there.
Oh yeah.
So, but once you clear and there's no distractions, it's just you. There's no distractions. You're it. So you're clearing all that stuff out. By the time I was leaving there, it was zen.
Oh,
it's an amazing.
You feel so
feeling.
great.
Yeah.
You cut off the tie with society.
Yeah.
And
yep.
Yeah, it's
a very serene moment.
Yep.
Have you seen that show Alone? Did you watch that show at all?
Alone?
You've never watched that?
I feel like I may have. I don't know.
You have to watch that. Start with season 1.
Well, is it on Netflix?
No, I think it was on Discovery.
Alone. I'm sure it's probably.
Yeah, it is. So it was intriguing to me because ever since then I've gone camping by myself. If no one can go, I'll go by myself.
Uh-huh.
But this show, the minute I saw it, I was like, I want to watch this. And there was like a series. It was a bunch. The first season was a bunch
3
of
seasons.
Tough. Yeah. The first season was the tough guys. You know, they were like, but it was a cop, military guy. Like there was all these. And what they do, the premise of the story is they take 10 individuals out, and this was Vancouver Island, and they put one, and then they moved 10 miles down. They put another one, and just like that.
Yeah.
No camera crews. They film themselves.
Oh, shit.
And you're by yourself.
Uh-huh.
And the only time anyone comes out to get you is when the last person is tapped out. If you're the last person standing, they'll come get you.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, they don't come to get you unless you tap out. You have like a sat phone or a sat thing.
Yeah.
So if something happens, you want it, and people tap out. So the first guy that tapped out was a cop, and he was like, "Yeah, I love this." Blah blah. First night, taps out, couldn't do it. Highest population of bear and cougars on those islands.
Oh,
so these guys were freaking out. Now, go back. There's nothing in the woods, and all of my friends know me. They'll all testify. There's nothing in the woods that scares me. Bears don't scare me. Like I feel relatively comfortable with anything in the woods. I'm the one that goes out camping, hiking by myself.
Yeah.
No flashlight, no nothing. I feel like I feel more home in the woods than I am here in society. Like it's the weirdest thing, but I just feel home. Yeah. One animal that scares the shit out of me. Cats. Big cats.
They'll fuck you
Mountain
up.
lions. You'll see a bear coming. You won't see a cat coming.
Yep, it's always like the hardcore predators.
That fucking mountain lion scares me to death.
There was a bunch of signs done, and Steve Ranella I think did it, and basically Steve talks about like how each animal hunts and things like that, and he goes, cats are like one of the few animals that slow down their heart rate when they come. So it's not like they're getting anxious, like ready to fuck you up. Right. Like they slow down their heart rate and go in like stealth mode.
Like killing machines.
Oh yeah.
They're machines.
House cats kill 2 fucking billion birds a year. 2 fucking billion, bro.
Not mine, he's indoor. He stays indoor.
Until he goes outside.
He doesn't go outside. Mine stays indoor. But yeah, you're right.
They are fucking slaughtering machines.
Yeah. They're built to kill.
Oh yeah, there's nothing about them that is not built to kill.
So the only thing that saves us here in the States or here in New York is that we don't have cats. We don't have mountain lions. Mm-hmm. Like we've hunted the hell out of them. They're all gone. Yeah. But you can see videos of some of these mountain lions out west. Yeah. It's a 200-pound cat, man. Yep. It's a 200-pound cat, and that you will never see coming at you. Yep. No thanks. That's the one thing that that thing scares me. To the thought of being in the same vicinity as a mountain lion scares me to death. Yeah. And I walk, no flashlight. To me, I'm in the woods. I'm fine. Yeah. But the thought of being in the woods with something like that, I don't know, doesn't really do it for. Like I'm like, I'm good.
That's fucking crazy.
No, it doesn't matter what weapon you have. You'll never see him come.
Oh, yeah. You'll be dead before you even had a chance to get it. Yep. Crazy. Yep. All right, man. We fucking just crushed an hour and 45.
Really? It's been that long?
An hour and 42 to be exact. Holy cow. Yeah, man. Do you want to give away your social media and stuff like that, or you want to keep it private?
I don't have any social media, really.
Oh, all right. There you go.
I'm not a big Facebook guy.
Well, if you need international shipping.
Yeah. Jaguar Freight.
There you go.
Right here in Valley Stream.
That's where you go, fellas.
That's it.
And ladies who are listening. Yeah. Anything else you want to say? Last words?
That's it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This was great.
Bro, thanks for being on, man.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Everybody, thank you for listening. Appreciate the fuck out of you. I don't know what I got going on next week. I'm sure I'll probably whip something together, make it happen. So until then, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.